Is it time to finally start making some money when you are not working? Look, digital products can be incredible because there is nothing as good as waking up and having made money while you were sleeping or on the beach or out or in the shower or whatever. But they can be very intimidating when you just start out. Hey, I'm Sandra and I help online business owners grow their business and their income through better service design, selling really awesome digital products, and hosting group programs and courses. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step on how to make a decision on what kind of digital product to create first. So step one is going to be so easy. You're going to be like, well, duh, Sandra. And that is brainstorm a list of products that you could potentially create. And I'm going to give you some exact questions that are directly from my group program Sold Out on how to come up with these and how to start and expand this list. So if idea generation is not where your strength is, this is for you. Now, the first one is super simple. What do you already have either that you use for your clients or that you use in your business that you could potentially package up to sell? So what are things or spreadsheets or tools or checklists or documents that you return to and use again and again? Start with those. Then, if you work with clients, which you probably do if you're watching this video, think about something that they ask you for again and again that you don't do and you don't want to offer them as a service. So for example, I get asked again and again about social media captions as a copywriter, and I'm like, no, that's not what I do, right? So I have choices there. I can outsource it to someone else, go the agency route, I can refer them to someone, I get a referral fee, or I can create digital product templates for it that they can buy directly from me. And I've chosen to create templates for some of these things. Then you can go and look directly at what parts of your process or what parts of your results might be turned into a template or a digital product for someone. So what do you normally do for clients that can also have a do-it-yourself version? And you have to be careful not to cannibalize your other offers, and I talk all about how to avoid this inside Sold Out and how it all kind of works together. But are there things that you do for clients that you can have at a lower price point as a do-it-yourself version and just give them the tools to do that? And this is very often a really strong digital product idea because this helps the person that isn't ready to invest with you or ready to invest on that one-on-one level, that service done for you, done with you level, but does want a solution and really likes your work, and it's giving them an opportunity to buy the do-it-yourself option. Now, this can either be the whole thing or it can just be a part of the process, right? So is there a part of the process that you do that someone could do on their own? So for example, if your branding process involves like a brand audit or something like that, maybe that is something someone could do on their own as long as they have your checklist or a workbook that you've created for them. Then, and this is a really simple one, and I'm not saying go and copy your competition, but it's really easy. Go look at some of your competitors, and if they sell digital products, what do they sell, right? And the thing with this is you have to be very careful for, we don't want to steal someone's ideas. We don't want to copy their exact products or the way they handle things. And I'm seeing that with my templates here and there. I'm like, ooh, that was very clearly strongly inspired by how I do things, right? And the other risk with that, aside from like copyright issues and intellectual property and all that, there's also the thing that just because someone has it on their website doesn't mean it's selling, right? You don't necessarily know that. So there's not really a point of going to your competitor and copying their idea if their idea doesn't even work. But it's more about like getting inspiration, right? Oh, they're offering this. Oh, that's cool. I actually could totally do, a different part, or they teach the beginning, I could teach the ending, I could teach whatever, right? But go and see what other people in your industry, in your niche, in your market are doing and get inspiration from that. And then finally, and this is one that we often overlook, and you may have to go and look at other platforms to sell these on, but if there are specific types of software that you use, you might be able to create templates from that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for your clients. It can also be for your peers, right? So for example, you might be a web designer on Squarespace, you create beautiful Squarespace templates, and you sell both an individual license and you sell a designer license to other designers that can now take your templates, customize them for their clients, and streamline the process and get a really good result that way without you having to do the client work part. So these are just some of the questions that you can ask yourself to come up with a list of potential ideas for products that are directly related to your business. So that was step 1. We're almost there. There's just 2 more steps left. So step 2 is really a tricky one in the sense that this is where you're going to have to pick one. And you might have some strong favorites, but I have some criteria that I want to run a digital product idea through just to make sure that it's actually a good template or a good digital product to create, right? So question 1 for all of these is, can you automatically deliver it? Can you fully automate the delivery? Because the problem with this is that if there's a manual action involved, not only are you going to stunt your growth, but you're also going to get in a really weird customer service position, right? Like if someone buys it and then you're supposed to within 24 hours set something up on the back end, send it off, customize some things and give it to them, you're never really free unless you actually close down your digital product shop. And that's the opposite of what you want, right? So the process needs to be possible to fully automate it. Then secondly, it needs to be clear on how to customize this. And that's not just for the sales process of telling people how they can customize it, but your buyers need to be able to customize it on their own, because otherwise you're gonna have tons and tons of questions and tickets and this isn't working. How do I customize this? How do I change that? And what you can easily do is, if it's something where there might be a little bit of base knowledge necessary, that you create a mini PDF or a mini video or one thing that you just include with every template you sell around, like, hey, how do I customize this thing? Hey, how do I use this thing, right? So for example, I sell copy templates, they're Google Docs. It very clearly has it at the top, like make a copy, because obviously you cannot edit the main file that everyone gets access to. Which brings me to another very important point. Please make sure that they cannot edit the original file that you've set up for delivery. And honestly, I'm in a really great program on designing affirmation cards, and they give you templates, but instead of giving you a template link that you have to make a copy, they give you the original, which means that there was 4 half-finished card text from other people in there. I could see what they were creating. I could see what they were doing. I couldn't get a clean copy of the file. And it just gets so messy. And related to that, make sure that, they can't edit it. You keep a backup copy, but that's a whole different story. And then finally, you need to make sure that it's useful enough to a large enough group of people so that there are enough potential buyer for your product. Like if you have I don't even know how niche you have to get, but the thing is that if you create something super niche for horse owners, but you don't know any horse owners, they're not in your audience, you don't know where to find them, that's not gonna work very well, right? Unless you have figured out that on Etsy, all the horse owners are there looking for this specific thing. But you need to make sure that it is useful enough to a broad enough group of people. And that is where you have to find a balance between being specific enough to be implementable and being useful enough to as many people as possible so that you can get as many buyers as possible. So that is how you narrow it down. You will probably find that there's a couple of ideas where you're like, ooh, probably not this one. Ooh, this one might be better. Oh, this is a thing that 12 people have asked me about, which means there's probably 1,200 people that kind of want it, right? Because there's only a small part of people that will actually ask. So now it's time to pick one. And my advice for this one is super, super simple. You choose to do the easiest one, because once you've done the first one, the second digital product is easy. So you do the easiest one to create. And if you're kind of looking at the easiest one going like, I don't know, Sandra, I get it, but I don't want to do this one, then pick the one that you are most excited about, because that will make it easier to sell. Now, if you're like, damn, Sandra, I'm super excited about this, but also it's a lot, right? I want to get going. How do I get this done the smart and the easy way? I want to introduce you to Sold Out Template Shop, which is my self-study program on how to start a template shop and how to sell them and how to keep the sales coming once you've actually released your templates and your offers into the wild. It is a complete self-study program. I've developed it with the help of an instructional designer, which means that the lessons are fluff-free, they're super actionable. We have little worksheets and decision points for every single lesson, so it's not just, here's me waffling for 45 minutes. I don't really do that. It's, here's what you need to know, here's what you need to do next, boom, move on to the next step. One of the last students, she actually turned around and had her template shop up and running within 3 days, and I was like, so I love the feedback that just because with the instructional design and the lessons, the way they're set up is that it's just so easy to actually implement, and that is what this is all about. I will walk you through 5 modules in total where we'll talk exactly about how does this fit into your business model? How do you price things to make sense? How do you make sure you don't cannibalize your one-on-one or your other offers? And then we've got a ton of really cool bonuses. We have a thing on set starting on Shopify. There's some really cool checkout templates for Thrivecart that I love. We have a sales page template for Thrivecart. And we've recently added like this amazing bonus bonus training from someone who sells website templates, and she started on Etsy and Creative Market, and she started pulling in like $2,000 to $4,000 a month from like month number 2 of having her products up. And she shares all about like how to get started, what to know about these platforms. So that is just such a cool bonus. Honestly, I'm looking into getting onto Etsy after hosting her for doing that training. So we basically give you everything you need, and there's a couple extras. I have a few case studies on my own sales and how I host like Black Friday and that sort of thing. So it really has everything that you need to set up your own digital template shop. And if you go to the description box, you will find a link to get a free sample lesson so you can get a little taster, and we'll also give you a special price to join if you come in through that link. Honestly, starting a template shop and having so many digital products has just been the best thing I've done ever for my business. You can read all about that on the sales page for the program. It works like magic in a way, and starting to see it work for the students now and for other people around me is just so cool. So yeah, it's highly recommended. Go check it out, grab your free lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to support the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe, leave a like or a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.